and welcome to another news video. I haven't done one of these in a little while, so this should be fun. Today we're going to talk about the latest news from NERF, Xshot, and Dart Zone. First up, from Xshot, we have another skins repaint. This time it is on the last stand, and it is a completely clear shell with blue accents. I really enjoy seeing clear blasters. I think this looks very cool. I personally am not a huge fan of the last stand. However, I would love to see something like the Xshot Pro Longshot in this color scheme. Next up, we have a technically new blaster from Xshot called the Ranger X8. This is a bolt-action cylinder-fed blaster, very similar to the Eagle Point, or more realistically, the Berserko. It's not really giving us anything new as far as innovation, but it does look pretty cool. Next up, let's talk about what's new from Dart Zone. First off, we do have two repaints of Mark IV. One of them is in metallic red, and it looks very nice, and the other one is in metallic gold. This is very similar to what we saw with the Midas Touch Nexus Pro. The red blaster will not be available to purchase. It is going to be strictly a giveaway blaster for Dart Zone events and whatnot. On the other hand, the Gold Blaster will be available on their website as a Black Friday special. But of course, besides the paint scheme, these are nothing new. Okay, so up next we have something that I was initially pretty interested in, and now I have some more mixed thoughts about it. Dart Zone is making chalk darts. Officially, they are calling these powder marker darts, and basically what they're going to do is their heads are going to be filled with like a flower, and when you get hit with one, it is going to leave a little white plus sign. They're making both a full-length and half-length version. The full-length dart looks about what you would expect, pretty standard, and the half-length version is going to be very similar to a bamboo dart. Now, of course, we can all share our different opinions on these, but for me personally, I liked the idea, and now I think I'm more on the fence about them. If we completely ignore the viability aspect of them and just talk exclusively about the potential mess, I don't think I want to clean white powder out of my flywheel blasters, out of my sealed breeches. It feels like more hassle than it's worth. And that, of course, is just my perspective on it. I would love to hear your thoughts on these new darts. Next up, we have something new and very cool from Dart Zone, their own injection molded bearing scar. So a bearing scar is pretty cool compared to a standard scar because it still gives you that spin, you have that enhanced accuracy, but you're not going to decrease your performance as much as you would with a standard scar barrel. Now, with other bearing scars, we typically see metal wheels. On this one, they are plastic, but if it's affordable and it works well, I think it's going to be super cool. So I think that does wrap up the news from Dart Zone. Now let's move on to NERF news. Starting out, we have this new NERF Gelfire blaster. I did get this image through NERF Taiwan's Facebook page. If you haven't, definitely go check that account out. Really cool stuff. And for all intents and purposes, this is basically going to be the Gelfire Jolt. We can see two rival style rails on the blaster, one below the barrel and one on top of the blaster. Right behind the trigger, that little orange thing is going to be the safety. On the very top of the blaster, we do see the hopper, and it's kind of an unusual hopper for the Gelfire line. Usually we have more premium doors and whatnot. This feels more like something you would find on a water blaster, but this thing will not be expensive. I'm thinking it'll retail probably for around $9 or $10 US. Apparently the hopper will hold around 30 rounds, and I think that is quite appropriate for a Gelfire Jolt. Right below the grip, of course, we do have the priming handle, and I'm not sure if this is going to be like the Flex or Pilot, where you pull it down and it remains, or if it's going to be like the NERF Rival Knockout, where you have to pull it down and push it back up. We'll have to see. As far as performance, I have no idea, but considering the Gelfire Dual Pack can get up to 150, I definitely have high hopes for this. It does feature a very skeletal and almost unfinished looking design compared to the rest of the Gelfire line, but I think that's okay considering this is going to be the most inexpensive option. We don't know the exact name of the blaster right now, but I'm fairly certain this should release on January 1st of 2024. Next up, courtesy of Chicken Master 99, we have some name leaks. First up, we have the NERF Gelfire Nightfall Hopper. I think this is going to be a Gelfire compatible hopper, so you could use it on like the Raid, the Mythic, the Legion, and it's basically going to glow up your rounds. That's what I'm thinking. similar to something like the Ravens magazine. Then we do have the NERF Gelfire Igniter for $9.99, and a lot of you might immediately make the assumption that this is that blaster that we just talked about. However, the name Igniter really does not feel like it matches that blaster. I think whatever this is will have something to do with glow-in-the-dark official NERF Gelfire rounds. Next up, we have the NERF Elite Junior Racer for $4.99 US. Now that means that Elite Junior will continue into 2024. Next up, we have the NERF SOA Flip Fill for $10.99 US. Now, of course, this is just speculation, but I am like 90% sure this is going to be a water blaster. Then we have a couple things that I am completely clueless about. We have the NERF Extreme Challenge Multiplayer for $39.99 and the NERF Inc. MVLS for $14.99. Again, I have absolutely no idea what these are going to be. It's all speculation, and I would love to hear what you think they are. Last but certainly not least, we have new rival names for 2024. This is awesome, the rival line is fantastic, and I'm super glad to see it still going strong. First up, we have the NERF rival Mirage XXIV 800. Of course, in Roman numerals, XX is 20 and IV is 4, so 2024 is the year this is going to come out. We also see the 800, so this blaster is going to have an 8-round capacity. Besides the fact that we know this is going to be a Springer, we don't know the nature of how it's going to work. Then we have the NERF rival Challenger MXXIV 1200. This blaster does have the same Roman numeral setup because it will come out at the same time as the Mirage. However, we see that it has that M in front of the Roman numerals. And of course, with the rival line, that means that it's going to be motorized. That's pretty cool because we haven't had a motorized rival blaster since 2020 with the Charger. Now we see that it's going to have a 12-round capacity. This is the same as the capacity that was featured on the Zeus or the Charger. We don't know if it's going to be semi-auto or full auto, but I'm just very excited to have another flywheel-powered rival blaster. Hopefully we get a rechargeable battery with this blaster like we did with the Prometheus or Perseus. That would really benefit it, but I'm not going to get my hopes too high about that. But yeah, I am very excited to see how these turn out, and we'll have to speculate on their functionality until we get more information. So that is all the news I have for today, but I would really like to hear your thoughts and speculations on these new blasters. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more blaster-related content, and I'd love to hear from you in the next video. Have a good one, and happy blasting!